Do you know what the national debt is currently? Hey, this is CeoTrades, where money works for you. Today we're looking at the national debt. How does it manage and how does it compare to our individual expenses? And what is the reality in reference to printing money, in reference to the housing market and car sales and the consumer price index? Let's take a look here quickly. But before we do, I just want to remind you, I am not your financial advisor. Always seek the advice of a professional so that you can make the best investment decisions for you. So here we go. Let's take a look. First of all, let's look at the US debt clock. Number one, in the US right now, there is a total of $31 trillion in debt. Now, compared to the population here, you can see that the US population is 333 million, according to the USDebtClock.org. China's population is 1.4 billion, almost 4.3 times more than the US, and their debt in comparison to ours is only 1/3 of ours. It's 10 trillion, 10.8 trillion. Ours is 31.1 trillion. That's unbelievable. Now, Japan is only 126 million, and it has a debt ratio of 15 trillion, half of what we have, and they have almost a third, maybe a little bit more than what we have of population, and it goes down. These are the top three, and then you can look at this list if you wanted to. You go into USDebtClock.org, USDebtClock.org. Very important site to look at. Again, the US national debt is 31 trillion. Our tax revenue, you can see that these in the red here just mean minus what's being utilized. The debt per person, per citizen right here, 93.4 thousand. Debt per taxpayer, 247,000. Now, you can see here on the right, US federal tax revenue is 4.8 trillion. Revenue per citizen is 14,692 compared to the debt ratio. It's immense difference. It's an immense difference. Now, some of the numbers that I like to look at is down here. You can see down here that the household assets is 138 trillion, 138.7 trillion is the assets. US total national assets, 173 trillion. Assets per citizen, 522 million. I don't know exactly how that compares there, but if you wanted to do some more research, you just come to this page here. Now, before we continue, I just wanted to show you that home sales right in here. Comparison 2007, a new home would cost 243,000. You can see what the existing homes are, the home sales annual rate, new housing starts annual rate, and existing home sales. But the current 2022, in comparisons, it's almost doubled. This 243,000 in 2007, it's 439,000 for a new home sale, 380,000 on average for an existing home. It's just a $59,000 difference or so on average. It depends on what you're searching for. These are numbers that can or cannot reflect the actual market, but this is on average. And you can question these numbers because obviously some of you have more expensive homes than others, and that will have a difference. Another number that I'd like to look at is the auto sales. You can check here the auto sales per different model company. The Acura, you can see 72,000. Some of the bigger numbers is Chevrolet is 1.1. I don't know if it's unified with any of these, BMW, Buick, Cadillac, Chrysler, because some of them I believe are part of the same umbrella company, like Dodge. It says 137,000, but I believe it's also united with some of the other companies. Ford also has some of the bigger numbers, just like Chevy. 1.3 million Ford sold in 2022, and Toyota has the highest, 1.4 million. Now, it's not much of a difference between Ford and Toyota. I don't know if Ford is unified with some of the other companies, but they are divided. I don't know why, but Toyota, even though it has Lexus, I don't believe it's listed. Oh, yeah, it is listed here, 210,000. And I'd say if you add those two numbers up, it's 1.6 million for Toyota, Lexus. Unified. I don't know which are the companies for Chevrolet or Ford or Dodge. I believe it's Dodge and Ram, but I'm not certain. So these numbers affect how, if you wanted to invest in a specific company because of their sales, you can see here where they're going with the numbers. You can reflect this with what the rates are right now in reference to investing in each company in the stock market. Very, very important rates. Another place that I want to look at is the consumer price index, is a measure of the average change over time in the prices paid by urban consumers for market basket of consumer goods and services. Indexes are available for the U.S. and various geographic areas. Average price data for select utility, automobile fuel, and food items are also available. All items, this is the 12-month percentage change. All items is about a 9. Food is higher than a 9. It's about 11. Well, this is 8%, 8.2% for the major categories. For food, it's 11.2%. For energy, it's 19.8%. And then all items except less food and energy is 6.6%. If you want to know more about what this is, I'd say check out this site, bls.gov/CPI. bls.gov/CPI. This is very important information in here. This is the fiat currency. Now, this site, I don't know if it's in our favor. It's a nonprofit organization, geniefoundation.org. U.S. money supply from 1959 to 2018. Money printing is wealth theft. What do they mean by this? I'm not going to go into it. I'm just showing you the chart that the printing in 1960 was minimal, but look now how much it's gone. It is skyrocketed. It has gone directly up parabolically. So there you have it. If you want to go more into this, I'm just going to read this sentence or two in here. Money printing is wealth theft. As the chart shows below, the money printing in the U.S. since 1900 has destroyed 98% of the USD's value. So it used to be worth around U.S. dollar purchasing power. It used to be $25 per dollar back in the 1900s. Now it's almost 0 to 0. And guess what? We're almost running into a territory where the dollar might become obsolete. It's possible, and that's why I invest, or we invest, in crypto as well as stocks, mainly in stocks right now, but we all are opening up little by little into crypto because it's becoming more and more important. The average lifespan of a fiat currency is about 35 years. The following list of currencies is a small sample of all the fiat currencies throughout the past 1,000 years. Let's take a look at here. Peru in 1989. Russia in 1992. This is when they ended. Zaire 1992. Hungary 1945. Germany 1923, 1 billion mark. Zimbabwe 2006. Greece 1943. Central Bank of China 1947. So you can see here the differences in the value of money throughout the world in different years. And most of these currencies are done for. That's it. You can keep going through this. There's a lot of information in this website as well. And I want to share this with you because most people aren't aware where we get information. And this is very important to look at. It takes time to do the research. I don't kid you. Will your fiat currency be next based on the historical average lifespan of that currency and the data table in the global governance scorecard? If your country's total debt to GDP ratio, private and public debt, approaches or exceeds 200%, then there's a high probability that your fiat currency will be buried in the fiat currency graveyard within your lifetime. That is a hint for the US dollar and other currencies. The only currency that can escape this fate is a well-designed cryptocurrency, not gold, silver, or any other physical commodity, because they can all be confiscated by governments, controlled by politicians who have been driving our economies into the ground for generations. Whether this is true or not, you should research. I'm just basically reading what it says here on this website. Now let's take a look at one other. This is tradingeconomics.com, /United States /jobless claims. Now, what does this mean? What do these numbers mean? It says the number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits fell by 12,000 to 214 in the week ending October 15, 2022, well below market forecast of 230,000. That's good. The results halted expectations of a loosening labor market that emerged with previous releases in October. Now, you can see here the number of unemployments claimed back in July 31st, and it was at 248 in August, the beginning of August. This is per week, 252, and it's down weekly. And all of a sudden, when it hit the end of September, it went up in October, the first week or two of October, and I think it's even down further than this, or close to that, 214,000, just so you're aware. Now, why am I showing you these figures? Because they tend to show you where our debt cycle is right now, and it seems to have decreased for a bit. I don't know how it happened. There's a lot of numbers in here you can look at. You can look at here at the max of more than 25 years, how it's been. You can see the difference in since 1959, I believe is when this is showing, right? This is right. I'm not certain, but this is the max, right? That's been showing. You can probably in the 1960s, let's say, and to the current of 2020 of this year, it has immensely shot up compared to past years. Very concerning images in here. You can see the forecast right there. You can see the stats. There's a lot of information in here, but you should research this on your own. Few more figures I want to show you. Now, in general, I haven't been posting a lot of videos yet because it's tougher to invest and teach people when the markets are down. However, it's a great time to make a small investment. And that's what I do. I'm not telling you to do this, but this is what I believe for myself. Why? Because everything is down. People feel that they shouldn't invest because Bitcoin's at 19,000. But if it were at 65,000, everybody wants to jump in. But by that time, it's a little too late. Right now that it's at 19,000, and if it doubles to 38,000, and if it doubles again, you will have made 4 times your money. Jump in, even if it drops below this, 5,000 below this, 14,000, which is my expectancy, although I could be wrong. 19,000 is not bad. Remember, it's not your goal to have the bottom all the time, but it is your goal to have a long-term goal, monetary goal, whether it's 30,000, 60,000, 100,000. You should park your money, not all of it, but in here. Ethereum is picking up a lot of momentum with banks and Bitcoin as well. And there are a few others in here. I know that Polygon Matic had some movement today. It's at 80 cents right now. That's one that I'm looking at. Solana, I had picked up when it was at 29, and then I saw it drop some. I lost $27 because I went in and sold off because it did hit $27. I didn't expect it to come back up that quickly. I believe that over the weekend it might drop somewhere. You can see here the decrease on Solana. It's gone this far down in here. Those are very important figures. I can show you this chart even bigger in here. You can see there. And this chart in here, is it daily? Yep, it's in the last 24 hours, but you can see in the last 7 days, it's basically has had a cup in here, and then all of a sudden has dropped a smaller cup right in here, and then it still dropped further by me. I thought it did hit 27 right here maybe an hour or two ago. I haven't been watching it all day because I had been doing some errands with some family. All I can tell you is this: if you want to double your bank account, why don't you invest in your knowledge account so that your money market account will grow multiplied? Stay safe, keep up with the research, because that's where the biggest returns come about, by you getting ahead and knowing what's happening next. CEO Trades, where money works for you.